So hey man, what got you interested in playing music, man? What was the initial kind of catalyst for that?
Uh, I think for me, getting into music was one of my uncles is on my dad's side. His brother, he would come over. Like he lived in Palmdale when I was in East L.A. And he would come over with his acoustic guitar, and they would have like these jam outs, like just doing like old school Mexican regional like folky stuff songs. And then like that's what really got me into it. Just like seeing them like have this like bond over songs was just like very magical for me, and I think that's what got me into like guitar.
Heck yeah, man. That's killer, dude. Like, when did you and your brother Renee to decide to make a band? When did that start?
I mean, him and I, we would jam out like together at our cousin's house because they had a drum set there, and we would jam out, but we never formed like any groups or anything. I actually started a band before without him, and then it wasn't until like later on when we decided like, hey, we should just like start our own group, and then we just started going from there. But that was probably like 2008, 2009. We started like just different bands.
Nice, man. So I mean so you guys been doing it for a while now. I mean, like a good chunk of time.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So was your guys' like relationship like close? Were you guys close before starting the band, or starting to play together at least?
I think, yeah, I think, well, like, I mean, we were 3 years apart, so we always like hang out and like, but I think like weed really brought us together. Like, smoking out together, I think was definitely like the catalyst that was just like, hey, like we bond over this. And then we had like the most like stereotypical like first weed experience. We got high, went to McDonald's, got munchies, and then came home and we're listening to like Pink Floyd, and like we were just like high as fuck.
Heck yeah, dude. Yeah. How old are you the first time you smoked weed?
I think I was a late smoker, so I was like about 17.
You shouldn't even be getting into it at that point, dude. You got to be doing it like 12, 13, you know?
I should have started when I was a baby.
Who's older, you or your brother?
I'm 3 years older than him.
Okay, you're the eldest. You're the guy. You're the guy scoring the weed.
Yeah, pretty much. Actually, he started becoming the more of the pot. He's more of the pothead now. Actually, I'm kind of like writing. Like I'll smoke once in a while, but been working on this straight edge like a while, like from booze and just hard drugs now.
Okay, for sure. When did you quit the booze?
During quarantine, I think when I moved out here to like Albuquerque, like to New Mexico, I was just kind of like, I don't know, hitting the bottle a lot harder. I think it was a combination of different things, like laying off like coke, not doing that anymore, and then like missing my family and not having any shows. So all of that was just like fuck it, just like self-indulgence to the max. And then I just like it wasn't even like I hit rock bottom or anything. I think it just got to the point where I'm just like, hey, like this is like not fun anymore, and then stop.
So what kind of stuff were you getting into besides music when you were younger?
I mean, I think for fun, I don't know, the music bug just kind of bit me really hard to get all through my like 14 to like all through high school. Pretty much I was just like a loner, like playing guitar all the time in my room. I started going out to gigs. That was kind of a thing that I like to do. I like to do a lot of drawing too, just doing some doodles and shit. But for the most part, it's always just been music. I feel like later on it became more like watching movies, appreciating like movies, going to different like art shows and stuff. Now I'm getting into like, as I'm 33 now. I feel like what I like to do now is fucking do shit around the house. Like, cause we just bought a house out here in Santa Fe. So like, I feel like such a fucking grown up, like painting the house, like buying couches, chairs. Chairs are so fucking expensive. But
You're buying it. You're not just finding it and then taking it in, dude. You're buying it, dude. You're an adult, man.
Yeah, man. Craigslist that shit, dude. Just like, hit them up and talk them down 20-30 bucks.
More, dude. Come on, man. You gotta watch some Pawn Stars before you get over there, dude. Talk them down. You just gotta talk them down off the price. Be like, 100? Let's do 50, dude. What do you say, man?
I'll give you $5.
I'll give you 5, bro. And that's like pushing it, dude. And you're welcome for that shit, man.
Oh man, no, it's hard out here in Santa Fe because Santa Fe is like more affluent. Like it's weird in Santa Fe. I feel like it's like part of it is way more affluent than Albuquerque. So like definitely like it's a lot more retired, like older people. And so they're the ones getting rid of shit, which is kind of nice because it's good shit that they're getting rid of. So it's like, yeah.
It's prime stuff. It's prime stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What prompted the move out there? Why New Mexico in general?
Well, I came out here searching for UFOs and I found love and green chili. So I stayed.
Do you believe in aliens?
Oh, hell yeah, man. I think the universe is too big to not believe in aliens, you know?
Exactly, dude. I don't know if it's exactly like how it's portrayed, like a green or a gray dude just like coming out of a spaceship or something. But like, there's got to be something else out there. Exactly. It's like it's way too big for just us to be there, man. You know, to be
yeah.
here. Yeah. But do you think if aliens were to come to Earth, that they would have already done it by now? Like we're already living amongst them. Could you fathom that?
Yeah, I mean, because the Earth is pretty young, you know, as a planet, and so definitely, I mean, like the universe is like way older than the Earth, like than the sun. So it's like for sure. Oh, I saw Blade Runner for the first time. I never seen that movie, and my girlfriend, she's like super into it. She's like, oh, we should watch it. You've never seen it, and I was like, oh, damn, it's a great movie about like the. Have you seen it, Blade Runner?
No, I never seen it, but I know what it is. I've never seen it though. Is it good? Is it worth a watch?
Yeah, it's definitely worth the watch. It has like some really cool surreal like shots in it, and the music's cool.
That's rad, man.
Yeah.
Did you really go out there to look for UFOs though? Is that the initial? Is that the initial trip, dude, or what?
Yeah, man. Just like came out here with the sleeping bag and binoculars, and then I got.
That's tight, man. That's tight. How much of a shift has it been? Because you're from East L.A. originally. Like, I mean, like, how much of a shift is that for you to move?
I mean, there's a lot of like, luckily, like the parts that I'm in New Mexico, there's a lot of Latinos as well. So it's kind of like the shift is like, it's there for sure. I mean, you're not close to the ocean anymore. You're kind of gridlocked. But I don't know. It's kind of cool. Like it's only a 2-hour flight. So if I ever get like super nostalgic, I could just hop on a plane.
It's not bad, man. It's quick. Yeah. Is your brother still out here in California?
Oh yeah. The rest of the band's still out there. I'm the only one that like moved out here because like I mean the plan was to like keep touring, doing the band, and then just like coming out to New Mexico just to like for like you know unwind and whatnot.
And search for aliens, dude. I get it. I understand, man.
It's the best thing to do, especially late at night, clear skies.
How has being in a band with your brother for all these years, like, how has that affected your relationship? Did it bring you closer together?
Yeah, it definitely has. I mean, because we, you know, when you're out in the middle of nowhere and then like you're stuck in the van for like lots of hours, definitely there's a lot of tension, but it definitely brings you closer. You know, we get to understand each other, and we've seen each other like we've like gone through so many phases, you know, where we just were like fucking fighting all the time. And I think now it's just we're just at a point where we're both like adults. Like, you know, he turned 30 this year. And I thought he was still like in his 20s. And then when he told me like, nah, I'm turning 30, it made me feel so much older. I'm just like, oh fuck, dude, like we're not kids anymore. Like we're like adults now.
Dude, you're buying like regular couches and stuff, dude. I already told you that you're solidified. You're an adult, dude. That's it. There's no going back, man.
Yeah, man. Fuck it. It is what it is.
That's tight though, man. That is really cool, dude. That's rad to have like that connection with your brother, you know. I love my brother, but I couldn't be in a band with him. Mostly because he doesn't like to play music, dude. I always try to get him to play music and he never does. He never wants to, you know.
Yeah.
So you're lucky, dude. You're lucky, man.
Yeah, it's very fortunate to have like family and a band, you know. And it's yeah, I think like the key to it was just communication. I think a lot of it before was like lack of it and like you know misunderstanding and kind of. But once you start talking and shit, expressing yourself, then you're kind of like you're putting yourself out there, so then like we can reciprocate and understand what we're feeling.
That's tight, man. That's really cool. So, I mean, the would you consider like the because you said that you went through a couple iterations of bands with Renee like throughout the years, so since whatever 2008 you said?
Right. We formed our first band like in 2010 to get the, but we started like jamming. Yeah.
The the original The Commons, was that the iteration of that?
No, we had a different band called. We were called Hello, My Name Is Red, and it was more. It's. I mean, it's. I feel like it's always sounded like what we sound like now, but now it's just like we found our niche, you know, and like we kind of our niche, and then so we're kind of like. But it was always like kind of garagey rock and roll mixed with like a Latin thing in there. But we never did reggae. We never did reggae. So
Never say never, dude. You
I
know?
don't know. And I don't think we. It's funny. I feel like if you're in a Latin band or like in a Latino band and you throw in some reggae, it's just kind of like you go downhill from there. You know?
Do you, is that like the rule? I don't know, man.
I think so, man. I think for me personally, then like that's when you become like a Trader Joe's like Latino band, you know, because like it's just like it's easy for people to just get into it, and I'm just like, nah. You know?
What's wrong with Trader Joe's, man? All right.
It's like we become the Trader Joe's salsa. Like that shit sucks.
Hey man, I just want to take this moment to actually thank Trader Joe's for the sponsorship, dude. Trader Joe's, good salsa, despite what you hear, man.
I do like the Trader Joe's pancake mix, the one that comes out in the fall with the pumpkin spice pancake mix. That shit's bomb.
Oh, are you a fan of the pumpkin spice just in general?
No, I like the pancake one though. That pancake one is just a seasonal thing that they do. It's fucking bomb.
All right, okay. Are you a coffee drinker?
Um, Not like super coffee drinker, but I like coffee every once in a while. I mean, I like a morning cup of coffee.
Okay, so is it an every morning thing though for you? Is the coffee?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, it's I guess yeah, it is a morning thing every
Shit,
day.
dude, you're addicted, man. There's no going back, man.
Yeah, my girlfriend, she bought this like a mushroom tea type of thing, and it's supposed to like help people get like off of coffee, but I don't know. I always tried it and it felt pretty good. It was like a butterscotch flavor though, so it was kind of weird.
Yeah, yeah. It's a lot of stuff going into that. It seems like, which is cool though. Whatever.
Yeah.
You gotta try it, I guess. Was it magic mushrooms? Or just regular mushrooms though, like a portobello or something?
Shiitake mushrooms.
I don't know if you still are, but yeah, I know that you were a fan of taking mushrooms back in the day, at least, right?
Oh yeah, I still like mushrooms to this day. I mean, it depends on the situation. I like going on a long bike ride in the desert and taking a couple caps, and just getting lost. That's pretty fun.
No stems though, only caps, huh?
Yeah, I like microdosing more. Just like half a cap, half a stem.
Mhm. How much or like has that had, if I could never get this out of my mouth, has that had any effect on like the music that you create? Has it like made you more creative?
No, I feel like mushrooms are more like a personal thing. I don't think they really affect me like while I'm being creative. Like maybe like spiritually, like or psychologically, they'll affect me, but not like directly. Like I don't take mushrooms and try to write music. I feel like weed probably is a lot better for that. Smoking a little bit and then just like jamming. Because if I'm on mushrooms and I'm playing my guitar, I think I'm just gonna like not want to play guitar and just lay down.
Or go on the bike, man?
Yeah, or go on a bike. Yeah, that's fun. Taking a long hike too. Hikes are fun. Have you ever been on a hike on mushrooms? It's just like it's beautiful.
I never even taken mushrooms, but I like to live vicariously through others. So I'm glad that you're doing it.
Yeah, it feels great, man. The colors are just so vibrant, and the air is just so clean. It feels so good in your lungs. You're just like,
How many times do you think, like, just ballpark in it, that you've taken mushrooms?
mm, like full doses, like a full like mushroom trip,
Mm,
or just microdosing.
all of it, accumulative, taking any type of any amount of mushrooms, even microdosing and just full on as well.
I would say a good ballpark maybe is like 15 to 20 times. So
Okay.
it's not like excessive, just like because yeah, I think mushrooms are just more like when it's meant to be, it'll happen because it's like it's a nice like high, it's not like I don't know, it's nothing like coke or some shit, where you just that's a whole different ball like drug.
Did you ever fuck around with acid?
Yeah, I did acid like 3 times. Um, the high is just like it lasts way too long. I feel like for me, it's just I'm like, oh man, like that's a whole day commitment. You gotta clean your house and get all your chores done before you do that.
Is mushrooms not the same amount of time? I mean, depending on how much you take, right?
Yeah, it depends on how much you take. For me, like mushrooms, I could like microdose and like just hang out at the house and whatnot. But then like with acid, I feel like if you take one tab, you're gonna be tripping for like 6 to 8 hours.
Yeah, you're at a bad trip on mushrooms or acid.
No, not really. I mean, maybe on acid just because I couldn't go to sleep. Yeah, it's kind of like, you feel kind of cracked out and I'm like, I don't like that part.
Yeah, what was the best? Was the best time you took like mushrooms?
I think it was maybe like 2 years ago. I was out in Playas in Tijuana and my girlfriend and I we got an Airbnb right by the beach and so we took like a good amount and we were just like it was cool because we were on vacation and so it was just like nice seeing the ocean and it was also very surreal because like it was like rainy so it was very cloudy and like so it didn't look like your beautiful like beach type of day but it just had like this really cool vibe to it. Mhm.
That's cool, dude. You got me wanting to maybe take some mushrooms right now, dude.
Mhm.
Look at you, man. You're bad influence, dude.
I'm not even trying.
What prompted the name change between the Commons and Tropa Magica?
The biggest change for I think was more of musical direction. I think we just wanted to just do something different. We're like, hey, we've been doing the comments for like 6 years. We're kind of like I feel like with that band we reached where we thought we could reach, kind of plateaued. I feel like for me personally, that's what I felt. And so it's like it was exciting to start something new from scratch, like not really from scratch, but just kind of like reinvent ourselves. And so that was the main thing, and along with like having a band name that sounded more like what what the music sounded like, because I think the Commons you wouldn't really be able to tell that it's a Latino band. I mean, unless you heard our music. So with Tropa Magica is more of that assertion that like, hey, it's a Spanish band name, so it's gonna reflect that sound.
Yeah, for sure. And did you guys put out tapes as the Commons as well?
Yeah, we did put out some tapes. Did you ever hear of Pearspace? There was a venue out in Glendale,
No.
Glendale Boulevard in Echo Park. They started doing tapes, and we got like really psyched up on that. They put out tapes by like Dirt Dress, AM. There was these bands. Did you ever hear of any of those bands?
No, no. Maybe we say Dirt Dress.
Dirt Dress, yeah.
I feel like I've seen a tape of theirs, but I could be wrong. But anyways, but that's
Yeah.
was yeah.
So they put out tapes, and then we were like, oh shit, like we found out that they were just super cheap to make, and so then we just started doing that tapes for a little bit, vinyl, because it's faster than vinyl for sure, and it's cheaper.
Right off the bat, did you feel that Tropa Magica was like different than anything else, the Commons and everything that was before that?
No, not at all. I feel like it was just kind of like a steady progression, because since we never like were like on a record label like with the big advance or anything, everything was kind of grassroots. So it was just kind of we had a solid foundation, so just kind of building up towards it. But we did get a lot of like resistance at first. I mean, our original manager that we had with the Commons and our booking agent, they both dropped us when we switched the band name because they were like, we worked so hard in marketing and creating this brand for you guys, and now like you guys want to switch it all up. We don't know if it's gonna work out. And so we were like, well, this is what we want to do. I mean, as artists, I feel like you all should be behind us on that. And so they weren't. And but here we are now. We're like managing ourselves. We have a booking agent, Joey from Space Agency, who's been like doing good stuff for us too.
Well, shout out to Joey, man. And you know what, dude? It's important to do what you want to do, dude, in any regard, especially with art in that manner. I'm glad you guys just like stuck with it, man, because obviously it worked out, you know?
Yeah, man. I mean, definitely. Like
That's what's up, dude. That's
yeah,
rad.
definitely. Like getting dropped by our manager and booking agent gave me like that little like the to just push harder.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it worked out for sure.
Sometimes you need a kick in the ass, man, and that's what spurs better shit, dude. That's awesome, man. I like to hear that, dude. That's rad. What other bands were performing like on the same bill or like kind of around the same areas that you guys were playing when you guys were coming up more?
I feel like some of the bands that we relate to are like Quita Penas. They're from Riverside. They have like this mas tropical type of sound. Buye Pongo, they've been around longer. They have more of a Buyangu, like more Afro Caribbean type of vibes. There's Better Be Careful. I mean, we started off too like with the Commons. We were like friends with like Chicano Batman and stuff. So we saw their progression too. How they were growing, and that was very interesting. Because they've evolved a lot too, which is cool. They've changed their sound a bunch of times.
What other were you guys kind of like crossing? I mean, because you guys cross genres in your own right. Were you guys crossing genres with like other bands as well?
Yeah, like I mean, like I feel like because a lot of the influences too that we had weren't necessarily like local bands. We were listening to a lot of like 60s chicha music. It's Peruvian psychedelic music from out in it's like the shanties of Peru, and like they created this style of cumbia which incorporated the guitar and the organ, and they so cumbia originally has like it's more of an accordion kind of vibe, and so it's accordion based and like percussion, so cumbia like more of the traditional sense. But in Peru, the guitar made its way down there, and so they incorporated that guitar and like an organ keyboard in place of the accordion, and so that like is very fundamental. I feel like to more of the instrumentation, what we do. And then, but there's also bands like Meridian Brothers that they're a really great band. They're more contemporary. Cumbia Queers. Cumbia Queers was the band that like I think for us, for my brother and I, they were the band that really gave us like the thumbs up to blend rock and roll and punk with like cumbia, because we were kind of at first we were a little hesitant doing that combination, because when we were at parties, people want to dance, and so when you throw in a rock and roll song that's too heavy or you're yelling too much, people tend like the crowd at the time tended to like be turned off by that, and they wouldn't dance, or they would just kind of be like, "Oh, like it got kind of awkward." We're like doing a cumbia and then we do a rock and roll song. And so then we saw Cumbia Queers from Argentina. They were on tour and they played like a cumbia version of Iron Man. And dude, when they played that song, it was like, oh yeah, like this is fucking dope. Like we're gonna just keep doing what we're doing. And then we talked with them at the end of the night, and they were just like, yeah, you guys like, go for it. You guys are on the right path, and just keep doing it.
Heck yeah, man. That's sick. That's really cool, dude. What could you like pinpoint like a certain band or artist that was like really, really influential to you? Like as like, oh, like you hold them like high regards of like that's like some good shit.
Yeah, I feel like Cumbia Queers would be that band because of that. Because it's like it's four women in the four femmes, and they just like they were like fucking balls out, like heavy, dude, like heavy cumbia. And so I mean, we don't really know them on a personal level outside from that show, and I don't even know if they know what our band is, but they were for sure like a big influence. I think another influence was definitely Chicano Batman because of their musicianship, like the way they play, like their technicalities, like they're so fucking good at their instruments. And my brother and I, when we first started, we were like, oh, fuck learning how to play your instrument. It's all about like energy and having fun, being wild. But watching them, like they were kind of like, nah, like you guys like stop being like teenagers, like learn your instrument, and so they definitely were influential in that.
Yeah, that's cool, man. How big of a role did like the DIY mentality play like a part in like where you are even at today? Like how big was it? Like and it was in a forethought of your mindset from the get-go. It's like we got to do this ourselves to get anywhere.
Yeah, I think once you kind of like grow out of that like rock star mentality, like we're gonna be rich and famous type of shit, then you still want to do music, which is a long journey, you know, because I feel like a lot of people think that you're gonna get famous and like that's what you're striving for. But once you kind of get over that hurdle, then you're like, okay, well, how do we proceed? And then that's what it was for us. We were just like, well, we're not gonna get signed by a label or anything, so we might as well just put on our own shows and like put out our own records. And definitely like venues like the Smell were like influential to that. Just like the backyard punk scenes in LA were also influential towards that because you know people have their own fan base out there. So it was definitely very helpful for us, influential and inspiring to just see that like different communities come do it themselves.
For sure, man. Yeah. How did you guys end up being in that 805 ad, man? How did that come about?
Oh, dude. So Fiddler took us on tour with them in 2019, summer of 2019. We did a few dates with them, and we did a show in San Luis Obispo. And one of the artist reps from 805 was there, and we didn't meet him that day. But then he didn't even reach out to us. But then he saw us again when we toured with Pangea. We did a tour with Together Pangea in 20. What was it? 2019. Wait, when was last year? Was 2020? Oh no, 2020. So last year, like in February, right before the pandemic, we did a short West Coast tour with them, and that guy was there, and he saw our set in San Luis Obispo, and I guess he really loved like the fact that I took mushrooms during our set, and I'm like, dude, that shit was crazy because like the mushrooms kicked in like halfway through our set, and I just played this crazy ass like solo. I don't even know if it sounded good, but he's like, yeah, I remember you just grabbed a handful of mushrooms and put them in your mouth. And I was like, oh fuck it. And he's like, and then he just reached out to us because of that. And so he was like, you guys are the band that we want. And like, I mean, I think it's part of it because their new cerveza, it's like their brand that they put out, or their new beer, you know, it's like more of their Mexican lager, and so they needed like some brownness to promote that. So we're like, fuck it, we're down, you know. I like 805. I like what they've been doing content wise, you know, documenting like skaters, surfers. So it's like definitely like our sound fits with that.
Yeah. And who says that drugs never get you anywhere? That's a lie.
And look at me now, I'm sober. I don't even drink anymore, but here I am, like, you know.
Hey, but if you were gonna drink, it would be 805, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
We actually, when we were doing some promo stuff, because they wanted me to drink some. And so what they did is they like just got an empty bottle, washed it out, and put water in it. So I'm like drinking, like I'm just like, oh my god.
And you were happy to do it, right? Because you know, even if it's water, 805 is gonna make the best one, right?
Oh, for sure, for sure.
Dude, I'm trying to save your ass here, man.
If it's water, I gotta give a shout out to our other sponsors, Liquid Death.
Liquid Death. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Heck yeah. They hook it up with merch and like cases of water whenever I hit them up. So
yeah, Liquid Death. You know, I'm open. You think that this is Arrowhead, but it ain't. It's Liquid Death. You know what I'm drinking over here, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to Liquid Death. Send me some free shit. When did you guys and Felipe Esparza initially cross paths?
Oh yeah, with Felipe Esparza, we were at Tropicalia. It was the first one that they had, and he was the MC, so he was introducing bands and stuff. And then after our set, I remember I asked, he asked me, he's like, hey, did you try any of the tacos? And I'm like, nah, man, the lines are too long. And so he's like, oh, here, try these vegan ones, because that was vegan. You know, he's fucking big, but he's vegan. And so he goes into his little like green room area, and he brings out a plate of tacos, and he fed me. He's just like, here, try them. And I tried them, and they were great. You know, and so ever since then, we were just like, I don't know, he just like liked this. I think it's because we look like we could be related and shit, you know, something about it. And so we just had a good communication. You know, we just talked to each other. We would hang out. We played his birthday party once. That was cool. Everybody was getting super stoned for that.
That's rad, man. I've liked Felipe Esparza for like a lot. Like I remember like watching him as a kid, and like I've always loved his comedy, and that was super sick that you guys like crossed paths. And I know you guys talked about it before, but um the song that you made for his special, dude, like that's really killer, and you guys should go watch it. It's Felipe Esparza. What's the title of it? What's the name of the special? It's on Netflix.
Yeah, it's on Netflix. The special's called Bad Decisions, and yeah, we wrote the theme song or the opening song. There's even a clip in there where my brother and I are like playing the instruments and shit. We got
at,
all like,
at the beginning.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that was awesome, man. That's really cool, dude. How much did that help you out in terms of like gaining some more like notoriety or like even listeners?
Yeah, I mean that helped out a lot. I mean, Felipe was very like he was very like cool about like just like promoting the shit out of our band. He's like, hey, these are the guys that like wrote the song. I mean, a lot of people I feel like got turned on to the band through that one song. Like on our YouTube, I think that one has like the most plays or some shit just because of that. On Spotify too. But yeah, no, that was very helpful for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. What did you think it was gonna be as big as it was when it first came out?
I mean, we knew it was for Netflix, so we were like, yeah. I mean, the pay for that was pretty cool too because that helped us finance like the album that we put out. We were just like, oh shit, like let's just invest this and double this shit. And so that's what we did. We put the money in towards the record, financing the vinyls, recording it, and then flipped it times 4, baby.
Heck yeah, dude. That's what I like to hear, man. That's awesome, dude. Do you have a personal favorite song from your discography so far? Like, do you have one that really stands out to you?
Let's see. I don't know. There's a few of them. I think Surfing Brain was like one of my favorite ones for a bit, but then I stopped. It depends. They always rotate. I think since we haven't performed any of them like really live in front of people, I can't really see which ones people vibe off of because then that usually helps figure out for me what song I can get more into.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What subjects are you like drawn to writing about? Like, what inspires you to sit down and like, oh, I should write about this?
I think for the album that we put out last year, a lot of the themes were because those songs were written more like in 2019, kind of towards the end of that. So they were more I think about like beginnings and endings, like relationships and stuff like that. Um, but like currently, actually, like because we're working on some new stuff, and like I was listening to the lyrics and like just like realizing that a lot of them have more to do with like death and like more like I think it's because of like the whole pandemic. Those are subjects that were very present, and so then like they kind of take on like that grimness, but they're more of a on the other side of it. Sorry, I'm like looking at this paint that I painted. I'm like, oh fuck, I missed some spots.
No, it's good, dude. I mean, this podcast won, but the home renovation, that shit doesn't stop, dude. So yeah, priorities first. I understand, man.
Yeah, check this out. So like, watch.
Flip it, dude. Let's see it.
So that's the living room. I painted the hallway, the living room. This is my little studio here.
This is looking good, dude. You got a nice setup here, man.
I think that's where I keep all my like junk and shit. But
That's what the closet's for, man. You shove it in there, and you're like, all right, it's good in there. And then when you open it up, you're like, fuck, why is all this shit in here? It's just a constant. It is. That's how it is for me, at least.
yeah, man.
That's rad, dude. Are you seeing any like you saw? I didn't see any spots that you missed though, man. I'll be honest.
Yeah, they're very like small. It's just more like I'm like the only one that like obsesses over it. I'm just like, oh fuck, like there's one spot right there, one spot right there. But for the most part, I think for being my first time painting, I think I did a good job. Because this guy was gonna charge us $4,000 to paint the whole house, and I'm just like, fuck that, I'll do it. And then I looked up some YouTube videos and shit, and like I was like, all right, cool, I can do this shit. It took a long time, but
How much did you charge? How much did you charge? I know the guy asked for 4,000. How much did you ask for?
I asked myself for $2,000, and so that's what I'm investing in equipment for myself because that's what I saved. Because if my girlfriend and I would have split that $4,000, so yeah.
Heck yeah, dude. But that's a little bit steep though. Still, man, I wouldn't pay that.
Oh man.
To yourself, dude? No way, man.
Yeah, it's fucking painting is fucking expensive, but
Yeah.
all the software type of shit is expensive.
Right. Yeah. Renovations and everything. Yeah. I mean, I can only imagine, dude. I'm not paying those bills, but I hear what you're saying, dude. I just can't relate to you, but I respect it. What's one song you wish you could have written?
There's a couple, but I feel like lately there's this one song. I don't even know who it's by, but it's called Monstro, and it's like kind of like just like I love this guitar riff because it's so simple. It goes like ding ding ding, and it goes hey monstro, quítate de aquí. It is very like 60s, kind of like the like quítate de aquí, very garage rock and stuff. But I don't know, like I love that song. I think any song that gets stuck in my head, I fucking like wish I wrote it because it's just so catchy. I'm just like,
It's a good indicator of it for sure, man. Yeah. What's the best concert you've seen?
Let's see. I saw Gogo Bordello for the first time last week. They were fucking great. I didn't know like how much energy they had on their shows. I mean, I heard about it, but because we're like talking with them about hopefully supporting them on a tour. So that'd be cool. They got down for sure. I think our sounds would mesh well. Gogo Bordello was great. The one concert that I remember that made me tear up a bit was watching Alabama Shakes. I think the first time I saw him perform, it was just like it was at the Greek Theater, and I didn't really know their music. Someone took me. They were like, "Hey, you want to come see this band?" And I'm like, "Sure." Like, and then so I experienced all their songs for the first time, live, and so it was just like, whoa, like it was that was great.
For sure, man. That all right, all right. Those are good ones. You came right out of the gate with that though. Like you're prepared for me to ask you that. You're like, I got this right away, dude.
Randy Newman was good too. I saw Randy Newman at the Hollywood Bowl. Oof, that was so good. That's the goal. I mean, to be that old and just that like I'm gonna write music for myself so that when I'm old I can play it really well.
Yeah. You gotta hone in on it for a couple years.
So that I grow into it, grow into those songs, like just like old people, like just kind of rocking keyboard or something.
Yeah. What's the craziest show you've played?
Oh man, I think as far as like audience wise or just like in general.
In general.
I mean, let's see. Well, the one that came to mind right now is like we played this show in Marfa, Texas, and it was an outdoor show, but there was a fucking monsoon during our set, and dude, so like rain was just coming like in all directions, and like we only played 3 songs, and we had to rush off stage, and at one point I remember I felt like my microphone shocking me, and I'm just like, oh fuck. And so we ran off stage, grabbed our gear, fucking packed everything up, and then like the whole like campground areas got flooded, and people were like, just like, I mean, because people are all drunk and shit, and like they were like jumping in the mud, and I'm like, you guys are nasty. But that was pretty crazy, I mean, because of the storm. But LA shows are always really fun for us because it's like we don't play it that often because of radius, radius clauses with other shows. So when we do play LA, it's always fucking cool. This one time we performed at the Echoplex, and our bassist, he was gonna stage dive, but when he stage dove, like they caught him, but not like all the way, so he kind of went through, and then he came back up, and his head looked like someone poured beer on it, like it looked wet, and then I touched him. And like I'm like, oh fuck, dude, you're bleeding. And so it turned out he had like cracked his head open. And then he just like didn't finish the song. He gave it to the keyboardist. He gave his bass to the keyboardist. The keyboardist like played the riff, and then he took off. And it was the last song already. It was like the encore. And then we were just like, "What happened to Jason?" And he was like in the restroom, and they were like, "Hey Jason, are you okay?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm taking a shit." Oh man!
As you do after a head injury, dude. Priorities.
Yeah, man. But yeah, he had to go to the hospital for that and shit.
Yeah, I bet, man.
Yeah, I mean, he's still paying off that medical bill. We helped him out a bit with that, because it was like, this is a band dude, or what do you call it? Like a band duty, almost like, you know,
Yeah,
like, hey, here's some money, dude.
because you help people, you support people.
Yeah, man, we love him.
Especially Jason, man. Shout out to Jason, dude. What makes a show good in your eyes?
It's a good question, actually.
I try to get one in each episode, dude, and I keep on saying this, and I'm hitting them. I'm hitting them. All right, first good one though, towards the end.
Yeah, because like actually I was thinking about that the other day because we played some events like acoustically recently, and like we did one corporate show for 805, and I was just kind of like, since I'm not drinking anymore, like I have to like in a way like fall in love with performing again, like find what really works for me. And I was thinking like the one thing that I feel like would drive me to keep performing is like having an attentive audience, not an audience where they're just there to party and get fucked up. I feel like that's like a big thing for me now, is just like having people that are paying attention, like listening to our songs, as well as getting into it. But I feel like that's what would be for sure like makes a good show, is like having them like where I'm telling the story throughout like one of the songs, and then like everybody just kind of like listening in. I think that's for sure like my ideal setting for a show.
Getting into it on a deeper level though.
Yeah, for sure.
Rad,
Yeah.
man. Yeah. That's cool, dude. Yeah. Do you remember how you felt like the day before you left for your first tour? Like what was going through your mind at that point?
Yeah, fucking party. Party for a month. And we're just like, hell yeah, we did like 32 dates on our first US tour as the Commons, and we were like, hell yeah, this is gonna be fucking fun. And then like by week 2, we were just like, oh fuck, we partied too hard this first 2 weeks, and like, yeah.
What memories stand out for you during that first tour?
Well, that first tour was really fun because we did a 4-piece, and we had our saxophone player named Jesus. He has his own band called Ingredient. Whoa, let's see.
You're still here, man. You're still here. You just got to go break. I get it, man. We've been going for a minute here.
Oh yeah, somebody was calling me. I don't know who it was though.
You should have answered it, dude. Answer those spam phone calls, man.
Oh fuck yeah! Like, hey, do you want insurance? Okay.
This is the IRS. It's like, yeah, right.
Rest in peace, unemployment.
The EDD, dude. The EDD, man.
It ran out. Yeah.
That's it. But
for that tour, I think one of the best memories was just like touring with our homie Jesus, who's in a band called Ingredient 10.
Oh yeah, Jesus Vintage Gear on Instagram.
Yeah.
Great guy, man. Shout out to Jesus, dude. He's great. Yeah.
Yeah, he was fucking wild. I mean, he would perform with the saxophone and then get on a skateboard, do a kickflip, and still be playing. And I was like, yeah, that his showmanship was just like, off the charts. You can't top that.
That's crazy. And if you guys are looking for like vintage stuff, especially in like the OC LA area, check out his stuff on Instagram. Jesus Vintage Gear. He always has great stuff. So if you're looking for some cool shit, he's got it for sure. I really like him, man. He's a nice guy, dude. For sure. Yeah.
He would ask me when we were on tour. He's like, David, why do you have to drink to have fun? I was like, I don't know, man. I just like it because he doesn't drink. He like sober. But yeah, that show would always stick with me. I'm just like, now that I'm sober, I think about that. I'm like, I don't know why I had to drink to have fun.
He's on some other shit, man. He gets his highs other way, like riding a keyboard. Like I remember seeing that at an OC Hurricane show. That was rad. That was really cool. He brings a lot of good energy, man. I really like him, man. He's a cool guy. What are some milestones, like some big milestones in your eyes that you've passed with Tropa Magica? Like what really stands out to you? Like that was fucking crazy that we did this or that or whatever.
I think right now the most recent one was probably seeing ourselves on a billboard, like actually seeing it in person. That's because like since I'm out here in New Mexico, I don't really, well, there's none out here, but everybody tells me like, oh yeah, we saw your billboard, you know, and they'll tag us in it, but it doesn't look the same as opposed to like when I'm like standing under it and I'm just like, whoa, this shit's like, it's me, but like bigger.
That's cool, man. Yeah, that must be a really cool feeling, dude, for sure.
Yeah, that one for sure is great. The whole Netflix thing was also really good. I think Food's Gone Wild doing the theme song for them. That was really cool. Getting to meet the guy from Food's Gone Wild. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So getting to meet Little Mystery, that was fucking cool. We were just like, oh shit, like
And who is it, man? Drop it. Who is it?
It's Felipe Esparza.
I knew it, dude. I knew it. He's doing so much stuff, dude. Oh man, that's great. All right. We'll talk after, dude. We're gonna get to the bottom of this. What do you see for the future of Tropa Magica?
I feel like for the next, that's a good question because my brother and I, we tend to like every like year or so we do like a 5-year plan, and we need to catch up on it because for the next year I think we're gonna tour, put out another album, and then I mean just keep doing that, for a little bit, keep putting out music, touring it, and then I mean ideally the goal would be just to keep growing our fan base and like doing more festival shows and support shows for like bigger bands, not be playing like dive bars and stuff anymore. Like I told our booking agent, I'm just like, I don't know. I don't think I can handle doing dive bars anymore just because like, it's like, I don't know, there's no green room and I'm not going to be drinking. I'm like, I want somewhere where I can watch some TV.
Some ancient aliens, dude. That's what you got to be watching, then.
Yeah, for sure. But definitely like just keep growing. I think that would be our goal, is keep growing as a band, keep growing as musicians, and yeah, just keep doing it.
That's rad, dude. That's rad. Well, hey, man, I like to wrap this up with some promo, dude. So, I mean, the people can stream Tropa Magica's music on all streaming platforms. You're everywhere, right?
Right, yeah.
Wherever the people listen to music, that's where they can find it, right?
Oh, yeah. You can find it at your Swap Me, available in cassette. two for 10.
Yeah, dude. Love it, man. Love it. And the merch is at Tropa Magica. That's TROPAMAGICA.BigCartel.com. That's where the people can find it, right?
Right. And then we also have a video game coming out. We're still finalizing the date, but it's going to be available like on Android and like Apple, or like, what is it, the App Store and shit for iPhone and for Androids. But it's going to be cool. It's a story about my brother and I. Aliens come. Speaking of aliens come, and they take away the masters to our new album. And so then we're fighting the aliens to get them back. And it's kind of like, it's in the style like of Mario, where you go from left to right and you just jump. It's a very simple game, but it's going to be really cool.
That's rad, dude. That's rad. This fall, dude. Well, keep an eye out. And Tropa Magica on Instagram, and then you can stay up to date with everything that's going on, right? That's the best place. Cool, man. Awesome. David, dude, thank you so much for coming on, man. I really appreciate it, dude.
Yeah, thank you, Jacob. Appreciate it too.
I appreciate you, man. We'll talk right after this. I'm gonna stop recording, man.